Welcome to Crete Commercial Draw and Panel Video Demonstration. There are two options in paneling out a project. You can manually panel the entire project, or you can use auto functions along with the manual placement. Very few projects can be fully auto paneled. The most asked question is how long does it take to learn the program? This depends on a few things. First, how well does a person being trained know the forming systems being placed? Second, what is the person being trained's plan reading capability? And third, how much time was spent watching the tutorial videos? The learning curve for AutoCrete Panel depends on the type of business you are in and the time spent on watching the tutorials. Residential foundation contractors will take from 4 to 6 hours, where form rental companies will take 4 to 10 hours depending on the systems they rent and how in-depth their drawings need to be for the end user. We recommend the user watch all the drawing tutorials before beginning training. We have had users learn the software just from watching the tutorials. Drawings take the longest time to learn, around 2 to 3 hours. There are 3 tutorials that are specific to learning how to draw. 2 are residential with minimal difficulty, and 1 for commercial with a larger degree of difficulty. Each video drawing tutorial comes with a script that can be used to follow the tutorials. When a company purchases the software, GDB's programmers build their primary forming systems and wall definitions. A panel information sheet is sent out to each company. What are the wall's thicknesses and heights that you work with? Second, panel information. What forming systems do you use? Steel-Ply, aluminum, rapid form, Sim-Ply, Ellis-Ply, Miva, or whatever modular forming system you use? What are the panel heights that you own? What are the filler sizes for each height? We take that information to build your wall definitions and panel systems. Another question we get are wall definitions required to draw and panel? The answer is no, as long as you understand the project will have to be manually paneled. To use auto panel features, then yes, they are required. If training is required, here's how it works. We only train one person at a time. If you purchase more than one seat, you can have the other people watch the training session. Everyone learns at a different speed, so normally only one at a time. We start the sessions as soon as all the draw videos have been watched. We do 1 hour sessions every other day or as your time allows. We do not like to go more than 3 days between sessions. We do not do training on Fridays, so sessions would be on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursdays. If drawing goes as planned, then we have you watch the paneling tutorials that you feel would apply to you. We would not ask you to watch gang forming tutorials for a handset system. Beside learning AutoCrete, you will have a program installed called Configuration Manager. Even though we build all your primary panel systems and wall definitions, you will need to use the Configuration Manager to modify, add, or delete settings in AutoCrete. This is the Configuration Manager's job. We also have tutorials for you to watch for this software. The Configuration Manager allows you to change the color of the walls and panels prior to placement. Add and delete fillers. Use what we call filler replacement that allows you for the elimination of 1-inch and 2-inch fillers as best as possible. AutoCrete has features that allow you to use 6-foot and 8-foot fillers on a 3-foot and 4-foot wall. Another feature that allows you to make the ending filler panels a different color than the main wall panels. With the Configuration Manager, you can even control how panels are placed on a pilaster. What you are watching now are shutoffs being placed to block out concrete and start and stop paneling. Later in the video, we will manually panel over the top of the shutoffs. As we proceed with the manual paneling, we will first place inside corners on the corner pilasters. Rather than changing the height of the inside corners to stack, we select the forming system from the system listing. This automatically sets the proper stacking placement. Next will be the manual placement of the pilaster forms. This is accomplished by selecting the type of configuration from the T-Image menu. The pilaster configuration panel placement is controlled by the Configuration Manager and depends on what inside corners or pilaster corner is used. In this placement, we have selected pilaster type 3 that has 6-inch inside corners and splits panels for tie placement. When placed, AutoCrete will place the inside corners, outside angle corners, and all panels and snap ties at one time. Next, we will place all the column forms. Like pilaster, the function will place all the outside angle corners and the panels at once just by selecting the center of the column. We are now ready to use the auto place for 90-degree corners, T-intersections, and the main panel runs. Now we can finish manually paneling over the top of the shutoffs. This requires turning the shutoffs off and then manually paneling the walls. For this type of a placement, we select the forming system from the correct panel height and then set the elevation for the placement above the shutoffs. Next will be to manually place the outside corner angles and corner panels. For this placement, we select the outside corner point, clockwise wall intersection, and then the counterclockwise wall intersection, and the corners are placed. We control the stacking again by selecting the proper panel system from the panel system listing. The final manual panel placement will be for the individual panels at the corners. When all panels have been placed, we can view the drawing in 3D mode. When the paneling is complete, there are different material lists that can be created. An all count that counts everything in the drawing, and a panel shipment for multi-pour projects. For form rental companies, we can even add an accounting code to each forming item. Here we are putting a count P line around each pour. Then, using the shipment count, we select the P line of each pour, and this produces the shipment count. You'll see that we have the shipment and the optional accounting codes. Please view the detail and laydown video for this drawing.